Welcome, everyone. Welcome to the live stream. This is going to be a really nice time. I can't wait to find out what you all think. Yesterday, we did a members and moderators only, and I also decided to combine that with the quarterly appreciation party, in which one of you won a 2-ounce piece of silver at level 2, and one of you won a 1-ounce piece of silver for being a level 1. So let me see who's all here. I can say hello to everyone. Welcome, Niels Han Dynasty, Scrap Metal Racing, Metal Matt, Awesome Mod, North Star Stacker, Ronald Roquemore, Michael 4135, Miss Aloha, welcome back. Frostbite, there's my buddy. Michael 413. Oh, I already said that. North Star Stacker. My girl who's always got my back, Aspiring Alchemist. Pete Clark and Keith M7570. Welcome to the live stream. Like yesterday, but slightly different. This is for me to get ideas of what you all want to see as content creation on this channel. Yesterday we were visited by Daniel Diaz, which was an unexpected pleasure. We talked about Citizens for Sound Money, but the major portion of it was for the members and the moderators to go ahead and tell me what they wanted to see as content, because I really want to grow this channel. We're currently, I came up from 2,272 to 2,281 subscribers from yesterday's channel, which I'm really grateful for. I want to get to 5 as my next level. I want to get to 5,000 subscribers, and I've offered to give away 5 ounces of silver when we get to that level. So, and yesterday, I re-announced that when you're a member, you're entitled to win an ounce of silver, but you have to be a member for 2 months. And I don't do that so much for the money reason. I do that for a fairness reason. It's not fair that someone is a member for multiple months, and then someone comes in and joins as a member and has a chance to win ounces of silver. That's just, let's call it what it is. It's a godhound. And they're entitled to what they want to do. It's their life. They can do with it as they wish. But this is my channel, my house, my rules, and my way is to show respect. Who shows respect? My members show respect by being members, and they are entitled, and I watch the analytics, so I see how long someone's been a member, how long they've been a member at that level, but it also tells me when someone's joined or rejoined. And if they meet the criteria of 2 months or more consecutive, if they meet the criteria, then they're eligible. If they're not, they either drop down to a level 1 or are not eligible, or if they're a level 1, they're just not eligible if they don't meet the criteria. And Frostbite agrees with me. He should. He gave me the idea because I was worried about people taking advantage of other people. So what I'm going to do here is copy the link and let's see here, paste, send, and I'm going to pin it to the top of this chat stream. So if a member wants to show up, they can. And okay, I just found that I can pin both on the vertical and the horizontal. So, that's cool. Nice to know that. So basically, if someone is a subscriber, feel free to come on and make mention of everything. We are going to do the same type of likes that we did last time. The first 25 likes, I'll give away a silver dime. Hello, Biblical Fellowship and Amy Harrell, Pete Clark, EMR Coins, welcome. Okay, I understand, AM. You don't have to do a membership if you don't want to. It's a elected thing, and you're welcome to choose whatever you want. I'm still grateful that you're here. 949 Designs, welcome. So the first 25 likes, I'll give away a silver dime. Second 25 likes, another silver dime. Third 25 likes will be a silver quarter. 425 likes or 100 likes will give away a silver $50. If anyone wants to put super chats in, that's of your own choosing. You don't have to if you don't want to. But if we get to 100 super chat, $100 super chat, I'll give away an ounce of silver. So the purpose of this video is I want all of you to tell me what you're interested in seeing. I have done a lot of different types of things. I've done interviews. I've enjoyed doing the interviews. I've got some more coming. Stacking Surfer, welcome. I've got some more interviews coming up. In fact, I just got off the phone today with attorney Chris Pritt, who was delegate Chris Pritt. And I'm going to be bringing him back on in the very near future. He's agreed to let me introduce him to Dennis Keating from Alpine Gold. And I'm already talking to a couple people from Goldbacks who I want to introduce to Chris Pritt. I am hoping Mr. Pritt is going to choose to go back into legislation because he's our best chance to get gold and silver recognized as sound money here in West Virginia. So let's see here. So let me put have you put in the chat. If you like the interviews that I've been doing and you want to see someone come on for the first time or come back, please put the word interview and what name or names you want. If you don't like the interview style, so basically, if you don't like the interview style, please put in there no interview. If you're not sure, please put in there not sure. And let's see, a stacking service says, good job. Goldbacks turned their back on small channels. Glad you could get through. I was turned down a lot of times too. I just decided to keep on keeping on. So I just guess I got kind of lucky. Just one thing happened. I think that the biggest thing that helped the channel was approximately this time last year. It was a Tuesday. I was watching Lynette Zhang do her live stream, which she does every Tuesday. And I put into the super chat, she doesn't do super chats. Put into the chat that how much I appreciate her. She was my very first teacher and that I started my own channel. I guess it touched her heart. She asked to come on to the channel. And I sat there with my jaw on the floor. I was like, do I want Lynette on my channel? Do I want oxygen? Would I like to stay hydrated? Would I enjoy my wife giving me a kiss and telling me she loves me? Nah. I jumped at it. So I've been very fortunate. She's been on the channel twice. Once on one of my interviews, and once with Stack Collector, which I did with Frosty. It was so awesome that when Lynette offered to come onto your channel. Were you there, AA, when she did that? Were you on her live stream when she said that? It was about a year ago. It was early December, and then it was early to mid-January by the time I was free from work and had everything set up, and she had the free time to do it. So it was pretty. No, you weren't there? Well, there is a short. I made a short out of her doing that with her permission. I made a short out of it. If go see her short, you can actually see the essentials of what happened on that particular day. Sometimes I want to pinch myself to this very day, so I'll go ahead and watch that and pinch myself, and but ever since that one time, God has smiled on me. He's allowed me to get some interviews with some really awesome people. So I'm very grateful, and that's that. You like when tubers collaborate. So do I. Always love when Surfer has Andy Scheckman on. Don't tell him. It's actually the Andy Scheckman show with special guest Stacking Surfer. Don't tell him I said that. So anyway, no, I like Andy Scheckman. He's straight to the point, blunt. Yeah, I have a friend of mine who is an airplane mechanic. His name's also Andy, by the way. And he's funny as can be. Shoots from the hip, just like Andy Scheckman does. When I ask him about airplanes, he'll just tell me the straight facts. And I always leave with my ribs hurting from all the laughter from being a straight shooter. So that's that. So, hey, OC Stacker. I love Andy. Been watching him for 5 years. Yeah, I just got onto him when I came on about 4 years ago. So I do have pinned to the chat. This time I found to do it on the vertical as well as the horizontal. So, that way anyone who wants to can come up on board. Now I'm only going to be watching the likes through the horizontal. So, feel free to come on that route if you want to be there. Prince of Platinum. Let me fix something right here and I'll come and get you, Prince of Platinum. I have something that has glitched on me and I'm unglitching it. Here we go. Come on. Oh. Oh, come on. Stop that. All right. It's going to fight me. Okay, fine. You want to fight me? Fight me. Here we go. Let's restart that. Hello. Oh, it's okay. How you doing, Prince of Platinum?
Hey, how's it going? Can you hear me?
Is that Neil?
Yeah. Can you hear me?
I hear you. How about you?
I was just making sure. Let me change the picture there so it fits in with the crowd. How's everything going with you? I've got a new product coming out in gold and silver early next year. I will probably see if I could collaborate with you to not only advertise it, but possibly give a few pieces away on your show. But I'd like to talk to you about that later. That's why it came up.
Okay. I'm open to hearing about it.
Yeah, it's not numismatic as people in the group that we're in talk about, or actual silver sovereign or rounds, but it is a silver and gold and crystallized osmium product that's more jewelry based, but not jewelry. It's a new product coming out, but it does have to do with stacking because it is going to be solid gold and solid silver.
Okay.
So
Well, when you get it ready to go, please feel free to, tell me what you think it's going to be about.
well, I actually probably do a live stream and try and get a hold of you and one or two other YouTubers and have you come backstage, and I'll show you on the video live stream what it looks like without putting it out to other people.
Okay, that'd be nice.
Then you can determine if you want to be involved or not.
Okay. Lady Blue, welcome. And let's see here. Bits, welcome. So, sorry, I want to say hello to everyone if I can. And by the way, for the moderators, if I miss someone, please make sure that they're welcomed. So what would you like to see me do in the future?
I actually, I like the interviews. I saw a couple people in the chat saying they don't like it, but like when you bring Diaz on, I like it. I like when Long Live Coins brings Aaron, and Frostbite brings Aaron on, talks about older coins. So, yeah. The specialty stuff, you actually have to interview people. And like Stacking Surfer says, he gets his questions answered when you get the interviews, and that's actually important too. But you get specialized knowledge when you do the interviews in specialized areas that they're, quote unquote expert on. And that, I find that to be fascinating and sometimes even knowledgeable.
Oh yeah. I like when Frosty gets good interviews also. Probably one of my favorite ones was when he had a lady who works for, I think she works for the government, and she's involved in tracking down counterfeiters. The amount of legality involved and all that, and how those of us who don't know the law, how we can accidentally break those laws and think we're doing the right thing when we're not.
Yeah, there's a lot of that in the laws. Doesn't the Secret Service get involved with counterfeiting?
To my knowledge, they do. I think that's one of their main functions.
Yeah, that's what I thought as well.
I didn't know that until years ago. I thought their main purpose was just watching the president, the vice president, and other people that were high officials.
Our money's more important than those guys.
Depends on who you're talking to.
Well,
I'm sure if you talk to some other politicians, they feel that they're more important than anything.
The only thing I can say to that is, since this in particular fiat dollar system that we've been using has been around since 1971, it's the same dollar we've had since 1971. Do we still have the same president? So obviously that answers the question as to who's more important. Important.
Oh, I didn't know that, Frosty. They're not government, but they work for Border Control, Secret Service, and FBI.
That's the Educational Foundation. Okay.
I would love to see more stuff with her. Actually, I've asked Frosty if he would consider seeing if we can get an episode of Stack Collector with that lady. It'd be kind of interesting to see what questions stackers have for her.
You seem to be talking about getting people on, and you got Lynette Zhang on, so you seem to be getting in the same circles as possibly Judy Shelton. Maybe she's I don't know if she hangs with that group, but I do know like David Morgan's interviewed her, and a couple other people that you've mentioned. I don't think Andy Schechtman's interviewed her yet, but she'd be a good one to have on, especially for precious metals people, because of her point of view on precious metals being money again.
Okay, let me write that name down.
Hi, Lady Bluegrass. Yeah, it's Judy Shelton. She was supposed to have had Powell's job, but Congress at the time told the first time Trump was in the administration, pulled weight and put in Powell instead of Judy Shelton.
Okay.
So she is very, very important to the monetary system, and she's a gold bug.
Gold and silver bugs are my favorite bugs. I don't want to exterminate them.
Propagate them.
There you go. Well, there you go. A whole lot better than wasps, bees, and other things that give you a lot of pain.
Dude, I don't know. There's this bee probably no one's ever heard of. It's out here on the West Coast. It's called the alkaline bee. It only lives for like 6 months, but farmers cultivate it out here, or well, certain farmers do, because it's the only bee that'll pollinate alfalfa.
Which one is it?
Alkaline bee. It's more necessary than, well, no, not more necessary. It's as important as the honeybee is for pollinating, but its specific role is for pollinating alfalfa, which is good for the rancher and farming or butcher food creators community, because alfalfa is a good source of food for cows.
Not only that, I used it also to periodically feed rabbits. They love that stuff.
Yeah, it's a good food source, and there's a big farming industry for alfalfa. But the only bee that will pollinate alfalfa is the alkaline bee.
Now, Frosty put a good comment in there. If you all want me, him, or us together, a stack collector, have anyone on, now's your time. This live stream is for you. Okay? I want to find out what you all want. I'll tell you that when I have done poured videos, they did okay. When I've done science videos, you all don't like them so much. I think when I start talking science, and even more so talking math, people think of math as just a 4-letter word. And honestly, I still enjoy doing them. And here's why I do them anyway, even though no one get that many views. It's evergreen. Math never changes. Science doesn't change. And your desire to not buy fakes never changes. So they're there for all of you to watch. Should I this? Should I that? Tiger did a video on that. It's there for you. Okay. I want you all to know it's there. And knowing that I wasn't going to get a lot of views, I still did it anyway, because more important than the views, keeping all of us safe from counterfeiters. Okay. So I want you to realize, I realize that I'll probably do some sciencey videos too. Now, I am working on something that you all have told me about, the Shavella videos. Now, Shavella's a busy lady. And on top of it, she lost her significant other this year due to cancer. So I'm sure she's going through grieving episodes also. But she's a sweetheart. She's a kind lady. And she and I have gotten even closer as friends once she found out about me getting cancer. But if you all want to see more Shavella videos, please put in the chat Shavella, Chavela, or maybe it's a double L. And if you don't want to see Shavella videos, just say no Shavella. I want to see what said. That way I can, next time I go see her, I can tell her what the chat is, and then she can come and watch this live stream to see I told her the truth. So AA and Michael and Amy all said yes to Shavella. Now her right arm person, her assistant, Teresa, she's very knowledgeable too. But Shavella is the owner. Teresa is full of moxie. Very funny lady. Gives me a hard time from the moment I walk in to the moment I walk out. And she's that way with everybody. So if you want to see more Teresa in there, put in the word Teresa. And if you don't want to see any more of Teresa, put in the words no Teresa. And let's see what everyone says. It'd be kind of nice to get an idea in there, because as soon as I walk in and say they said yes, yes, Chavella, she's gonna be, what about me? Love Chavella, especially when you bring wifey with you. I get a yes to both and a Teresa, and I got some positive Teresas. So now when she goes, what about me? I can actually tell her what's going on. She's actually a very kind lady. She's actually called me periodically, even when Chavella wasn't there, and asked me how I was doing. So let's give a big round of applause to Chavella and Teresa, all in one pawn, the best pawn shop / coin shop in Charleston, and maybe one of the few pawn shops that doesn't take advantage of people. Because I can tell you, I checked. I've done very similar to what Silver Seeker does, but on a low scale. And I checked with the local pawn shops and coin shops. In fact, I went and got a pair of riding shoes for my wife for her bicycle, and it was right next to a pawn shop. I walked in. They have nothing with precious metals. So I walked in, walked around, said hello to everyone, said goodbye, and went home. So I'm either finding pawn shops that are not interested, or pawn shops that will take advantage. And all the other coin shops, they have a higher buy price, a lower sell price, or the other way around, and a worsening spread.
One thing I do know about pawn shops and their gold and silver stashing is cops always go there if there's ever any stolen jewelry, and it's harder for the pawn shops to turn a profit on it in case it's stolen stuff. When it comes to gold and silver, whether jewelry or coin, I believe, I'm not sure if it's in every state, but I know in Florida and Alabama, they have to hold it for 30 days for them to do a check to make sure it's not stolen.
Yes.
So there's not that, I mean, the profit margin at that point in time of purchasing to actually be able to resell, and the work that you have to do to be able to do that might not make it as profitable as they want to get into that part of the industry.
Well, it should be also going for coin shops too, because whether you're a coin shop or a pawn shop, if you're buying, you still run that risk. But they have a similar rule here in West Virginia. It's a 10-day wait. So hey, guess what? I got this really cool piece, blah, blah, blah. So, well, can I buy it? Not yet. In 10 days, I just bought it 10 minutes ago. So I have to wait 10 days.
Right on. It's good that they do that for those of us that do stack. That it's a reassuring to know that there are laws out there that prevent the quick turnaround and release of any stolen product, and gives us a chance to possibly get it back if we ever experience that in our lives.
Oh yeah. And in fact, she even does it when I sell her stuff, and she's known me 4+ years now, and she knows how I am. If I buy something, she knows that she has zero chance that something's going to be called back on her. For instance, I bought this. Let me get this in here really good. Bought it on August 15, 2022. It's a Franklin $half, 1963 D over D for $28. And I that's an all-in-one sticker, all-in-one pawn shop sticker, but I still wrote all-in-one in there so that, I knew where I got it. So when I bring something in, it still has its labels on it. I'll give you another example. When I sold this here, when I had to get some money to pay my bills, you can still see part of the label. It says eBay as to where I bought it from. I bought it back from her so I could have something to give away to the people who would win from the members' appreciation party. Because when I sell from my stack, I got to go find something, exit the weight, exit the dollar amount from one spreadsheet, then put it into my profit and loss spreadsheet. That's just a lot of extra work. I don't want to do that. So I buy it straight from Chevella. I only have one spreadsheet, the profit and loss spreadsheet, and there you go. But she knows, she'll say, I don't have to worry about you because I know you check everything, which I do. But one of the things I definitely do want to do is, you all see that I have a Sigma Metalytics Pro. I want to get the thing called the bridge, so it will go through thick things like your big block of platinum over there. So I check everything. I don't care who I get it from. You know, everything goes in there, and if something looks a little goofy, I do extra tests. And I've only found a few things that didn't quite match up. And ghostwriting Ace says, yeah, I just stick to my LCS if I'm going to buy some precious metals. I'm fortunate to have a good one in my area. Congratulations, Ghost watching, but always check. Always check. You know, my very first fake was a, get this, Eisenhower silver dollar. And I waved the neodymium magnet over top of it, and clink, it came up. And Chevelle made it good. I walked in the next day, showed it to her, and she went ahead and, you know, gave me a one that was good. She let me keep it because she knows I keep fakes as a teaching format for my grandchildren and for all of you. So, what else would you like to see on the channel, Neil?
You know, cross promotion with other YouTube and cross collaboration with other YouTube subscribers that are in the arena. So, like, just basic local knowledge in that area could be spread as well. Because as someone said, you had spoken about how they had a good coin shop in their area. My area, not so much. So, you know, to spread word of where good coin shops in what cities and states and whatnot, that I think is interesting and would be helpful. But that's just my perspective.
That's true. That's true. Now, yesterday I saw Aspiring Alchemist typed in there. She wants to see some more Lynette videos. I'm going to be working on that. In fact, I'm working on some commercials, if you will. I have two, they're not sponsors, but two companies that have put me in as affiliates. Now, a sponsor, they give you money to promote their company. An affiliate means you are their company is mentioned, and if one of us goes to their company and says, Tiger Stacker sent me, then some proceeds come back to the channel, which is helpful because running YouTube is not a cheap deal. In fact, just recently, StreamYard sent me an annual bill that was almost $800. So, you know, having some money come from YouTube and super chats and now affiliations will help offset those expenses. You don't have to do that if you don't want, but it is appreciated if you do.
You ought to look into doing a little bit of merchandise as well.
I've been looking into that. It depends on how it's going to break down. I really don't want to get into where I've got to be locked down at the house, packaging and sending. But
they actually have companies out there that you can hook up with if you're talking only like coffee mugs or T-shirts.
Yes,
they're not. There's several companies out there they have different quality control issues, but they do, like, you can hook up, you can get an order. The order goes straight to them. They fill the order, and you get the cash, and then transfer goes automatically to their account. But the problems with a lot of those that I heard is they have mailing issues of getting their product there on time. It makes the person who subscribed to them to do that operation look bad. So you check with the quality control of the company you hook up with, but there are companies out there. So that way you don't have to have an inventory, and you don't have to, they make it to order. As the order comes in, they make it, ship it out. Basically.
Yeah, I've seen that. I've heard about that. 949 sends in a $20 super chat. Thank you, 949. I appreciate you very much. So that will help along with some of the other expenses. So let's see. Does anyone else want to put something into the chat what they want to see, or want to come up on board? Wendy Ma Coins, welcome.
I don't know. I personally like history stuff, like that Georgia DeLuga Mint for the short period that it was open, to do it. Like Frostbite did a little history of that.
Oh yeah, he's good at that.
That type of stuff is enlightening and historically relevant, and I like seeing that stuff.
Aspiring Alchemist, would you like to come up on stage? It helped me out really good because I got to go to the little Tigers room. If you would be willing to come up on board and, speak some of what you want to see also. I don't know if she will.
I thought tigers went in the woods, man. That was a joke.
We don't want to upset Mrs. Tiger.
Or the puppy dogs.
Not today, please. Neil, would you be so kind as to keep everyone entertained for a little bit? Unfortunately, the chemotherapy makes me have to run to the bathroom at the most inopportune times. I'll be back in about 1 or 2 minutes.
I'll tell a tiger story.
As long as it's clean.
Yeah, it's not about you. It's about a real tiger named Sultar. He was at the Mobile Zoo back in 2001. I went back to, back in 2000, I went back to the Renaissance Fair, and we got hooked up to use the land of the Mobile Zoo. And people heard the story about the other cats I was interacting with. The last day before I left, there was a rich guy. I guess he said he wanted I didn't find the whole story, but he wanted a tiger. So he got himself not a Siberian, but the other type of tiger. Was it Siberian and something else? I'm brain farting right now. But anyhow, this little tiger was like 4 months old. It weighed 90 pounds, and its paw from tip to tip was 6 inches. And Fran, the owner's wife of the zoo, was like with me. And she's like, Neil, I got to go inside. Don't go inside and play with him because I don't know his temperament. And there was this big ball. I mean, he was just like 2 foot round ball, air-filled ball, but it was thick rubber. And this cat was trying to play with it, and he was getting thrown around a lot. So I went in there, even though Fran told me not to, just to scratch his belly and hear him do his little kitty roar, which was rather impressive for a 4-month-old Bengal. It was a Bengal tiger. Yeah, not a Siberian. So I found that rather fun. And that also has to do with tigers. Since we're on Tiger Show, I figured I would share that experience. Anything you guys want to talk about while Tiger's going to the little boys' room? Yeah, Ghost Watch. We'll have to wait till he gets back to ask him that question. I'm sure he does. And probably Frostbite as well. They do that type of thing. Actually, OC Stacker as well. I believe he goes to coin shows. I'm not sure about auctions. Auctions are the same as coin shows. Same realm.
I am back.
Ghost Watch has a question for you.
At the moment.
Ghost Watch has a question for you.
Okay, let's see here. Tiger, do you have any auction stories like rare finds or great deals? Maybe you can share how to get better deals when buying metals. Well, I have an interesting thing I've been experiencing. Because of the chemo and not working as much, I've had to sell some silver. It's my preferred metal to sell. That way, because of the volatility, you can buy it back close to what you sold it for. But as I'm recording it in my profit and loss spreadsheet, and I'm looking at current day spot prices, complaining to myself how expensive it is. I'm looking back at what I bought in 2021, 2, 3, 4, and 5 at the different things such as the auctions. And I bought it at or over what the current spot price is. Why? I got wrapped up in the fun. I got wrapped up in the fun, having a grand old time. I had a whole lot of disposable income at the time because I was as a workaholic. And sometimes I've sold at even Steven compared to today's spot price. Sometimes, sometimes I lost money. So my first rule of thumb is if you're going into auctions, you got to go in knowing what you're going in for. I didn't mind sponsoring the channels back then. Like I said, had a whole lot of extra income coming in. But I got lost in the whole fun of it all. And I was buying all this little fun stuff over here, knowing fully well that I'd have to wait a long time before I'd even meet what it was. But I didn't care because I was having fun. I was just enjoying myself. Now that I've actually have experienced what I like to call personal SHTF, my advice is try to stay out of the auctions unless you really see yourself getting a good deal. If you are spending on the auctions, know that you're going to have to wait a long time before if you're going to have an exit strategy. If you're buying it permanently because you just love this thing, you have to have it, and your whole body is screaming at you, fine. Do it in moderation. I think a lot of us stackers in the community have gotten caught up in the auctions or even the races. And I'm not faulting the auctioneers and I'm not faulting the race owners, but you have to consider it. And you don't know what you don't know. You don't know when you're going to get sick. I didn't know that a year ago I was going to be septic and in an ICU. I didn't know that March or April of this year, my wife was going to tell me, what's wrong with your chest? Which was the very first thing that led me into finding out I got cancer. So we don't know when God's going to call us home. We don't know when we're going to come down with a disease. We don't know what we don't know. Only God knows because he's the only one that's omnipotent. So my advice to you, I'll ask you about that here in a second, Frosty. So basically, honestly, look at what your mission is. Now that I've experienced this, my goal is to not care if I'm taking a loss because I'm going to claim it on my taxes. I'm trying to keep as much of what I like to jokingly call the boring stuff. Whoops, sorry. The traditional stuff, the sovereign coins, the sovereign bullion, the generic boring rounds, the constitutional, generic bars and rounds. Why? Because if I die, my wife won't have to know all the numismatic and collectible and all the other stuff, even though I wrote her a very long letter to teach her because she doesn't listen to me currently. So when I beat this cancer, and I will beat this cancer, I'm going to work very hard at staying away from the fun stuff. I'll probably crack once in a blue moon. I hope not. But that'd be my best advice and my best story I can give any stacker out there to that type of thing. Oh, Neil, you got to leave.
Yes, sir. I got to take off.
Okay. Well, thank you for coming up.
Not a problem. You have a great day. God
You
bless,
too,
man.
You too. Frostbite says, Tiger, let's create a more in-depth discussion about this. This is a great opportunity. I didn't follow what was said before that, Frosty, and you're throwing me pronouns. What is a great opportunity? If you could throw that into the chat, or if you've gotten home, if you want to come up on board. Thank you, Neil, for coming on board. I appreciate you being here. And we're currently sitting at 37 likes according to Aspiring Alchemist. So that means we're now sitting at 1 silver dime. Let's see here. So, Aspiring Alchemist, has anybody else put anything in there that they want to see? Sorry to hear about the cancer, Tiger, and yes, kick its ass. Thank you, Ghost Watching. I will. I have no desire to leave all of you in this community, no desire to leave my wife, and no desire to leave my grandchildren. So, you all are stuck with me. Ha! Okay. The tiger bar, the lion bar. Well, that's not a lion, my friend. That's a poured piece of silver that I've done. I plan on doing some more. Lady Bluegrass, thank you so very much, sweetheart. You're a gem. I poured this. It's 14.45 troy ounces. I plan on doing some more. So there you go. I got a question. I just thought of it because I haven't done a lot of pouring because I was harvesting bunnies because we had too many, which is more of prepping than it is stacking. Would you all want to see prepping videos where I'll show things such as non-perishable food, how I prepared to be covered in case I'm stuck somewhere, whether it be a snowstorm or whatever, what I have in the vehicle, plans that I got going on for solar, those types of things. There'll be a little bit less stacking, a little bit more prepping. In fact, I've even asked to talk to Sean. I've talked to Sean's Precious Bullion in hopes that we can maybe do some talking about prepping that's outside of stacking. Would you all want to see some prepping videos, or you don't want to see it? They can, Lady Bluegrass, not always. I know preppers that have no gold and silver. I know stackers that have no food and other things that they need to survive. So they can and they should go hand in hand, but some people just don't. When I could hit, I wasn't worried. I don't get that. When COVID hit, I wasn't worried. Oh, I get it now. Yeah, I had food and everything when COVID hit, but COVID hit late 2019, early 2020, and it wasn't until 2021 I woke up to actual stacking. Okay. So we're at close to an hour. I wasn't planning on going very long today because I want to get working on these other projects, but I really wanted to see what you all wanted to see. So let me go ahead and harvest some names. It's currently 5:54. Go ahead and start chatting into putting something in the chat. In 2 minutes, I'm going to harvest the names, and we're going to run the wheel for the one silver dime. Liberty bleeds silver. You're doing well, Tiger. Thank you, Liberty bleeds silver. I appreciate it. Chat it up. Craven and Travis. So let's see everyone put something into the chat. I'm going to recheck how many likes we got. We got someone on board. Ah, Frosty. Hey man, how you doing?
Hey, what's up, brother?
Hey, I didn't know that you were a saint.
Uh,
You see that halo behind your head?
I didn't even notice that would look like that. Anyway, so I'm
So,
just sitting by the fireplace.
oh, that's cool. Is
Yeah,
that home or somewhere else?
it's home.
Okay, cool. So you put a comment into the chat, said we can discuss it. I wasn't sure which dish you were talking about.
So the question or the comment was, do you have any auction stories or things like that? And where you went was be careful overspending. And I think one thing that's really important that we talk about in this community is it's great to stack. Um, it's fun to go to these events. It's fun to do things like that. But you've got to really pay attention to what you're doing. You've got to keep track. This is why things like budgets are important. And I think there's a real good opportunity here for us, you and I, to talk a little bit about how those things should be engaged. Again, we're coming up into the new year. I hate New Year's resolutions, but people are thinking about these things right now. And it might be a really good time for us to talk about, hey, as you go into 2026, you're going to see a lot of neat, fun, collectible stuff. Awesome. If you can get it, great. But do not go into debt to try to do that. You guys are stacking, you're trying to build, and if you want it, you can afford it. It's with in your budget, you're fine with it, no problem. But don't go into debt. Don't do that kind of stuff to yourself for the precious metals. Just don't do it.
And if you want to build your weight as a stacker, make sure that if that really is your mission, then try not to spend on the higher premium stuff so you can get more weight.
Yeah, and I'm a collector, right? This is the
Yes.
thing I like to do. So but it's sound wisdom. Sometimes collecting, you're going to overspend because you want the item. I get that. But if you're talking about stacking, the intent, the end purpose is to set money aside and to do that. So you need to be honest with yourself and assess how much can I do? How much should I do? And then, walk through that component. As a person who likes to collect, like I've slowed down. The prices right now are way too high for precious metals. I've slowed down. What I haven't slowed down on is pre-33 gold, right? Because your numismatic value is not going up as quickly as um, your spot price, right? As the
Mhm.
melt price of the metal. And so there's very small numismatic premium right now. And if metal was to drop, that drops, but normally the numismatic premium will stay. So if it's smaller, then and it drops, pretty drastically, your numismatic element is still going to stay at that higher price or close to it. And so right now is a really good time to do that because as all that stuff goes up, the numismatic value eventually starts to catch up. And again, that's kind of like that safety net. That's where numismatics, that's where the coin things can help you. But I think it's a really good thing for us to talk about because auctions are fun, races are fun, all of that stuff is fun. But if you can't do it without overspending and really getting, you talk about getting caught up. We both talked about this.
Oh yeah.
You can overspend and get yourself into a bad position really, really quickly. So it's fun to do, but you've got to be responsible about things. And again, as we get ready for the new year, you can really come with a plan. And I think it's important for us to talk about.
Most certainly. So you want to do that as a stack collector, or you want to do that something else?
It'll probably be a sack collector. I think that should be our end of 2025 presentation. We'll have the one with your contacts where we talk about the stuff that went on. People should be seeing that shortly.
That'll be
And then,
tomorrow.
say again?
That's tomorrow.
Well, I understand that, but
Okay. I was saying it for everyone else in the chat so they know it's coming.
right. And then the following week will be on my channel, and that's probably where we'll do that. Not because it's better on my channel, it's just timing, right? We go
Yeah.
every 2 weeks, alternate channels.
And it's the only reason it's back to back is because last Monday I felt kind of crummy.
And it happens, not a big deal. But so we want to maintain that cycle. So we'll put something together. If there's things that you want to know about, if there are resources that you want me to make available, if you have issues with that and you just haven't told anybody, gambling and issues like that are problematic. And regardless of what people say, there is an addiction to things like auctions as well, because people get caught up into that. And there's a stimulus engaged. And while they may not realize they're doing it, they're really, really overspending.
I have to wonder if a dopamine release happens in auctions.
Oh, I'm absolutely certain it does. You think about the things that engage in chemical stimulus. So when your neurons are firing because you're excited, you're happy, and you're just pumping through stuff, your adrenaline's building, and then that connection to that particular element heats up, and now it becomes what is a personal feeling. It becomes personal now. I have to have that piece. I really need to have that piece. And so the interest can change to the chase very quickly. And people
Especially if it
love,
becomes an issue about someone measuring testosterone against another one's testosterone.
well, we can go there too. There's a lot of that kind of stuff.
Oh yeah.
They call that keeping up with the Joneses, right? So,
Well, I was just thinking about phallic measures.
but okay. Anyway, it's important to pay attention to these things. And you know, when Tiger had his personal situation, got the sepsis, was basically disengaged from everybody for a while. There were some discussions that him and I had afterwards about how we do things. He's got his plan together. He knows exactly what he has, what he spent on it. And when it came time for him to have to sell something, he knew exactly what he had. Those sheets are really important, right? And again, there's a great opportunity here to talk about those strategies that will help you in that time frame. Because ask Tiger, I mean, there's nobody better on this line to talk about it, because he's had to go through some rough stuff. And it's because of his diligence in this that he's sitting in such a good place. So we really do need to discuss this and explain why what you do is important.
I appreciate that. Yeah, I always, it started off with me wanting the wife to know what I spent, where I spent, and how much and when. Then I found out as I was, what?
Mine's over there.
Okay. So, I realized that as I was stacking, I wouldn't always remember how much something I paid for, which was really, really helpful because everything's labeled. So I don't have to rely on a memory that may or may not be accurate. So even though I did it for the wife, I found out on a personal scale that having that information was really super helpful for myself too. Then when I had to sell and I'm making a spreadsheet on profit loss, I'm actually able to see the dollar value that I'm gaining or losing. So it helped out in a lot of ways. It's a pain in the butt. You have to be diligent and you have to spend more hours in buying it, putting it away, buying it, putting it away. Because I'm willing to bet there's a lot of people in our community who forgot how much they have. They think they have more than what they have. They have less
Mhm.
than what they think they have. They think they bought something and maybe they didn't. Maybe they looked at it at a pawn shop or a coin shop, thought they bought it and then they didn't, you know.
Yeah.
And I mean, at one point, you and I did a trade on a classic head, and I thought my classic head was a $2.50 piece instead of a $5 piece. My spreadsheet said I had one of each, a 2.50 and a 5. And I thought maybe I screwed up when I went and pulled it out of storage. I had one of each. It's like,
Well, that's
oh,
what I was saying. But you were going through that, and I'm like, I have no what you're talking. You don't have two of those. Yes, I do. It's in my sheet. It's like, no, you don't. We talked about these coins. You have one of each. And you're like, no, yeah. Sorry. That was funny. I remember that conversation.
yeah, it was kind of humorous once I realized what really happened. I
Yeah.
got one at the pawn shop, the $5 one, and I got the $2.50 one from Matt Stacker, and completely forgot. But fortunate for me, I'm kind of OCD about keeping my spreadsheet. I'm not sure. I don't think it's 150% accurate because I'm human, but
Yeah.
it's about as good as anybody else will be able to come up with.
Well, and here's a problem with a spreadsheet, and you don't realize it's a problem until you get there, is building it correctly the first time. So if you name something because you think you know the name and then later you find out that's not what that is, you need to make sure you change those things, because that's exactly what happened to you. You typed in Liberty instead of Cat Bust, and that led you to believe it was another coin. So as you learn, as these things grow in you and you learn the names of these things and you're understanding what those coin elements are, the names of those, the eagle, the half eagle, quarter eagle, double eagle, what values are those? Go back and check your stack. Go back and look at those things, and just to make sure that you're actually documenting that correctly. Because what you said earlier was absolute fact. Uh, People don't realize what they don't and do have. And we have a great friend who comes into many chats and has more coins, like way more coins than he even realizes. And it's people, like I said, people get caught up in this. They want to do this, and it can be potentially problematic. So,
Oh yeah,
yeah.
most certainly.
Going back and trying to read the comments, it's hard to do this on a phone and bounce back and forth between screens. I don't want to accidentally kick myself out. Aspiring alchemist, that's a great thing, right? Don't you agree, Tiger?
Yeah, she's pretty awesome. She watches the spot price when she purchases. Mine's kind of very involved. I keep a track of retail price, spot price, only on the first half of the first page. Um, I do run my own gold to silver ratio, but underneath that, I have two additional levers to it. I have the generic gold to silver ratio, which is usually what Kitco and all the other ones are putting out. Then I have the gold eagle to silver eagle ratio, and then which is usually higher than the regular GSR. And just for kicks and giggles, I'll run a gold buffalo to silver buffalo round, generic round ratio, which is usually pretty close to the regular GSR.
Someone say math nerd.
Math nerd, it's
Uh,
me.
he loves his stuff. He really does. And he tracks everything, and it's fun to look back at the analytics that he puts in there and see where he's at and where his dollar amounts are and how he's grown. Or it's just he's done a really good job of it. You all would benefit from a good walkthrough. You have to make a replica of yours, but yeah, it'd be really interesting to kind of walk through some of that.
Now, I will tell you that early on, you all probably won't believe it. This guy will. Early on, I would spend hours every night doing it all by hand.
Yeah.
And then my wife's like, you really need to get some sleep. And then she introduced me to Microsoft Excel. And I put it off for a couple months and decided I really do need to get some sleep. So I started setting it up and making my mistakes and fixing my mistakes, and then started running it. And it's fun. I just love the only thing I don't like about it is if some sort of glitch happens, I got to take that section and put in all the new math all over again because something happened, and probably I did something stupid.
Then we need to turn on your version control, and we'll teach you how to do that. But you shouldn't have to rebuild that. You can restore it to an earlier version. So remind me next time we're sitting down chit chatting, and I'll show you how that work gets set up.
Is that kind of a more complicated version? What last time I did the spreadsheet was 1 or 2 days ago, and I got all these error, and I didn't save anything. So I just turned off Microsoft Excel, which reset it to what I started with before because I didn't save anything, thank goodness. And then today I ran it again from scratch, and everything turned out to be okay. So whatever mistake I made, I didn't repeat it.
Yeah, that's a good thing to do. So
anyway, so what do you want to see me do in the future?
Chestnuts Roasting on an Open Fire by Dean Martin.
How about this? Chestnuts roasting on an open fire. Jack Frost. I'm a little flat. I didn't prepare. Sorry. Let me try it one more time.
It's okay.
Chestnuts roasting on an open fire. Jack Frost nipping at your nose. I really got to get I didn't practice.
It's all good. No worries, brother.
But no, I really want to make this channel excellent for everyone. Well, I've finished everything I want to do unless you want to throw something on board.
No, I just wanted to pop up real quick. We're actually getting ready to do dinner, and
Okay.
because again, I think that's an important topic, and I think that's something that you and I we've experienced both aspects of that. We've gone through those things. You and I have talked a lot about how we mitigate and manage those situations for ourselves, and so I think these people would benefit from their commitment to your channel and my channel, and I think we owe that to share that with them. And it's like, look, this happens, and when that happens, this is what you do, and this is how you manage it, and this is how you mitigate it. You got to be strong because you're going to screw up, and it's okay.
Exactly.
So hopefully you guys like that idea. I think it was a great suggestion. So.
Oh, crap. It's doing it to me again, Frosty. Yesterday, I had a hell of a time pulling up a share screen. I had to end up shutting down my computer, which I did do before I started today's live stream. And I had to shut down the computer and bring it back up because it wouldn't let me bring up the tiger wheel. And I'm having that same problem again. I don't know why.
Not sure right now. I know. All right. Hey, I am being beckoned, brother. I am going to bail.
Okay. The only thing I can think of doing is to either A, run the tiger wheel by turning the computer off and coming back up, which is going to take me, 3 or 4 minutes, or B, just hit on Nightbot, and it always says that so-and-so is not a member. So that's one thing maybe you and I can work on in the future.
Okay.
So I'm leaning towards just doing the the exclamation point exclamation point winner, which is going to tell me who the winner is, but it's going to tell me that they're not a member, which is not the truth.
But it's fine. It's not, well, we can get into the technical reason why that happens. There's a public and an unpublic subscription. Most people don't know which one they have. They have no idea when they turn it on, when they click subscribe, which one is engaged.
Okay.
So there's a way to resolve that, but again, it doesn't matter. If they're in your chat as a subscriber, then you know that they're a subscriber.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
And I'm going to
So,
run it like that.
yeah.
And let's see who's going to be the winner today. Okay. And it's not giving me an answer.
Did we set that up on yours?
We did. I'm wondering if it's not doing it because I typed exclamation point winner under StreamYard.
Well, I think you need to spell winner, right?
Oh, never mind. Sometimes my claws get in the middle of the keyboard.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, brother. I couldn't resist.
I would have taken that cheap shot also.
And the winner is Raspberry Hedgehog.
Raspberry Hedgehog, please send me a claiming email to thetigerstacker@gmail.com within 2 days, 48 hours, so that you can claim it. Raspberry Hedgehog.
Congrats, Raspberry. Nicely done. All right, bud. Hey, I've got to get out of here. I am getting the look. So I will chat with you later.
Okay. Night.
See ya.
Appreciate you. Okay, everyone. Thank you for coming to the live stream. Congratulations, Raspberry Hedgehog. Notify me within 2 days, and it'd be great to see you there. Sending me an email, getting what you deserve. And I'm going to go ahead and head out with my typical outro.